CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Mekovic.
Right now on the afternoon edition, he was larger than life. Today, fans remember wrestling legend Hulk Hogan. Thanks for joining us this Thursday. Hulk Hogan passed away at the age of 71 from a reported cardiac arrest. He was widely credited for turning wrestling from a niche form of entertainment into a family affair back in the 80s, and was more recently seen as a notable figure on the political stage. Bradley Blackburn looks back at Hulk Hogan's life and career.
His wild personality, pumped up physique, and handlebar mustache made him the face of professional wrestling.
We're seeing what this guy is really made.
Hulk Hogan enthralled fans with iconic matches like this one, slamming his one-time ally Andre the Giant and pinning the 7'4", 520-pound WWF megastar.
Hulk Hogan, he dropped the big leg on him.
In 1984, he defeated Iron Sheik to win his first of 12 championships, marking the beginning of Hulkamania. He was the main attraction at the first WrestleMania in 1985, helping to push professional wrestling into the mainstream. The WWE posted condolences, calling Hogan one of pop culture's most recognizable figures. Born in Augusta, Georgia, Hogan's real name was Terry Bollea. With his enormous success in the ring, he also took a stab at Hollywood, appearing in Rocky III and in a reality TV show, Hogan Knows Best. His legacy also comes with controversy. In 2021, a jury awarded him $115 million after he accused Gawker of violating his privacy. The website had posted footage from a sex tape of him with the then wife of his former best friend.
It's turned my world upside down.
He was also briefly fired by WWE after a leaked audio recording revealed him using racial slurs. He apologized and called the incident the biggest mistake of his life.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
In recent years, he took his fighting spirit to the political ring, campaigning for President Trump at last year's Republican National Convention. As usual, Hogan at the center of it all, bringing the crowd to its feet.
Well, he adopted the name Hulk because of comparisons to the muscular comic book character on the CBS TV program, The Incredible Hulk. News we're following here in the Bay Area now. A proposed name change is in the works at Oakland International Airport. Commissioners at the Port of Oakland set for a final vote this afternoon on a proposal to switch the name to Oakland San Francisco Airport. It is the second attempt to rebrand the airport. The first one led to legal action. Our Kevin Coe has more from OAK.
The days of calling all of this Oakland International Airport may be numbered. The Board of Port Commissioners will be holding a vote today to change the name to Oakland San Francisco Bay Airport, something that folks here tell us they aren't quite huge fans of. From the Port of Oakland's perspective, changing the name to Oakland San Francisco Bay Airport would reflect Oakland's role as a gateway to the entire region, while also increasing air travel and boosting economic activity in the East Bay. You know, this is the port's second attempt to do this. In 2024, a judge blocked Oakland from using San Francisco Bay in its airport name after the San Francisco city attorney filed a lawsuit, arguing it infringed on SFO's trademark. No word yet on if San Francisco's attorneys will take action on this second attempt, but I can tell you, after speaking with travelers here, they aren't so sure of this name change.
I think it's weird. I think Oakland is Oakland, so it should stay Oakland.
Oakland, San Francisco is a bit confusing because now you're tying two major cities together, so that is a bit confusing.
There's a difference between Oakland and San Francisco, so definitely keep it the same.
It's important because it seems like they're taking everything away from Oakland and taking it all the way to San Francisco. I mean, we didn't lost the Warriors, now they're in the Bay Area, you know, so I think some things need to stay on the Oakland side.
You know, we've also been looking for signs, branding of the like for Oakland International Airport. There isn't really much that we could find. There's a lot of OAK painted on the walls. We say this to say there is a clean slate here for rebranding, which could kick off today, depending on how this board meeting goes at 3 p.m.
San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie has signed the city's nearly $16 billion budget plan. The two-year plan tackles a nearly $800 million deficit by making steep cuts to nonprofits and city departments while maintaining funding for police and fire. That comes after the Board of Supervisors voted to pass his budget 10-1. Lurie has called the budget a win for his administration and for San Francisco. California's Attorney General is celebrating more than $1.5 million settlement with one of the nation's largest hospital systems. He says HCA Healthcare unlawfully forced entry-level nurses into repaying the cost of a mandatory training program if they did not stay with the company for 2 years.
Let's remember these are our nurses, the very people we rely on to care for our families. In times of crisis, we should be investing in them, not threatening them with debt.
Now, HCA Healthcare will pay $83,000 back to nurses who made payments to the specialty training program. That includes San Jose nurses at Good Samaritan Hospital and Regional Medical Center. HCA will also pay penalties to nurses in Southern California, Colorado, and Nevada. Kaiser Permanente will soon stop performing gender-affirming surgeries for young people. The company is citing pressure from the U.S. government. The healthcare giant says starting on August 29th, doctors will no longer perform those types of surgeries for patients under the age of 19, but non-surgical care will continue. Kaiser says the surgery halt follows consultation with internal and external experts, including its own doctors. Kaiser says in a statement, as the legal and regulatory environment for gender-affirming care continues to evolve, we must carefully consider the significant risks being created for health systems, clinicians, and patients under the age of 19 seeking this care. They go on to say, we're going to work closely with each patient to support their care journey. Developing story here. Safeway workers throughout the Bay Area could go on strike this weekend. They're pushing for better wages and benefits. Union leaders say they want a deal done by Friday. They accuse Albertsons, which owns Safeway, of stalling negotiations. Safeway sent us a statement that says, in part, we have scheduled bargaining sessions this week and continue to work with a federal mediator. While we are disappointed that the unions have indicated the possibility of strike at some of our stores, we fully respect our associates' right to engage in collective bargaining. All right, taking a look at our first alert weather now. Live look outside showing our Bay Area microclimates in full effect. Cool and cloudy or sunny, depending on where around the bay you are. Let's check in with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Well, today's the day that we're either seeing 80s off in our inland spots or still cool, cloudy conditions along the coast with 60s in store for us today. So over a 20-degree temperature spread anywhere from Antioch all the way over into places like Pacifica and Half Moon Bay today. But we're still sitting below average everywhere throughout the bay. I mean, you head up into San Francisco, 66 this afternoon. We have low 70s all throughout wine country today from Napa over into Sonoma, all the way into the Santa Clara Valley. It was cool and cloudy this morning, but now we're starting to warm up with sunnier skies into the afternoon. 70s in store for us today near San Jose and Los Gatos, 80s. The more south we go along the highway into Morgan Hill. So those clouds have been a little stubborn for us this week, and relative humidity has been pretty high too. It's been muggy, it's been sticky and cool, especially along our coastal areas. Heading into the evening hours tonight, the bay fills with the fog once again, and we'll get some coastal drizzle in the early morning hours tomorrow. So gear up for that with those windshield wipers ready to go. Here's what we're expecting this afternoon. Wind speeds are going to start kicking up, anywhere up to around 25 miles per hour off into our inland areas. Winds die down tomorrow morning, and the other big weather story for us has to do with the Climate Prediction Center and what they have to say for the next 6 to 10 days. I'll have more on this coming up in just a bit. For now, back to you.
Thanks, Jess. New fallout for the Trump administration over its handling of documents related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Wall Street Journal reporting the president's name is mentioned multiple times in the files. The Journal notes that being mentioned in the records is not a sign of wrongdoing. Still, the report does contradict what the president said last week when asked what his attorney general told him. The White House called the Wall Street Journal report a continuation of fake news, adding that the president once kicked Epstein out of a club for being a creep. Meanwhile, today, a senior Justice Department official is meeting with Epstein's longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, in Florida, where right now she is serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking at a federal prison. About an hour from now, President Trump is set to tour the Federal Reserve Building, which right now is under renovation. The president has publicly berated Fed Chairman Jerome Powell for not lowering interest rates. And now some in the Trump administration are blaming Powell for cost overruns associated with the renovation of that building. Taking a check on Wall Street right now, the Dow is down more than 200 points this afternoon. Tesla stock slumping today on some poor earnings news. Here is a look at the top 500 stocks, courtesy of FinViz. Tesla in the top right corner, they're down as much as 9%. Tesla is reporting double-digit drops in earnings for the second quarter and a record slump in sales. The electric car company's adjusted net income was $1.4 billion. That is down $419 million from a year ago. Sales of Tesla's more expensive cars, including the Cybertruck, plunged 52%. That slump is attributed to backlash from CEO Elon Musk's political activities and increased competition on the EV market. Still ahead here at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area.
How two sisters are helping women with medical hair loss gain new confidence and feel like themselves again.
Studies show that nearly 2/3 of cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy experience some kind of hair loss. But now, two East Bay women are offering new hope for them and for others dealing with medical hair loss. Sharon Chin introduces us to this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award winners.
Morgan Moore and her sister-in-law Lee Hoff put their heads together to make a difference in women's lives.
It's important that we use the gifts that we've been given by God to bless the people around us.
Morgan, a licensed cosmetologist, and Lee, an oncology nurse practitioner, help women who lose their hair and self-esteem to cancer treatments and alopecia.
I see it as a way to give them their options and power back and control back in a very challenging time.
Sometimes she just needs a little lotion.
The pair started Morgan and Moore in 2022. The Vallejo business has customized medical wigs for about 100 women, and it fills a gap. Where most wigs are synthetic and for straight hair, Morgan and Lee offer a variety of human hair.
And so there was a huge number of women that weren't being helped, whether they had kinky curly hair or extremely wavy hair. And with the Bay Area being so diverse, it was just a lot of women not being served.
Oh yeah, the WPE. Yes,
but they found not everyone who needed a custom medical wig could afford it, and it's not always covered by medical insurance. So Lee and Morgan formed a nonprofit in 2024 called Inclusive Crowns. They raise money to give the wigs away. The first recipient, Kayla Betterina. The mother and special needs educator has dealt with alopecia all her life, but during her pregnancy last year, she lost all of her hair and cut herself off from the world.
I didn't leave my house last year. So she had canceled her wedding. She had stopped going to take her kids to school. She was just feeling embarrassed, and a little bit of shame around that.
A custom wig with human hair costs between $1,500 and $10,000 depending on texture and length. And when Kayla's insurance would not pay, Morgan and Lee gave her a free wig. That brush of generosity changed Kayla's life.
They gave me a lot of my life back just with that confidence. Having a lack of confidence and then having it rebuilt really affects your life a lot.
So far, Inclusive Crowns has provided free medical wigs to several women in need. Lee and Morgan also find joy partnering with other nonprofits to teach women how to care for them.
To be able to offer these women the opportunity to get a piece of themselves back so they don't have to look sick, so they can feel and look better is huge.
It's important to us that people know that they matter on a deep level.
So for providing free customized wigs for women with medical hair loss, this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award goes to Lee Hoff and Morgan Moore.
And you can nominate a local hero for a CBS News Bay Area Icon Award on our website, kpix.com/icon. All right, back to our first alert weather, taking another live look outside. It's looking pretty gorgeous there around the Golden Gate Bridge, but certainly another cloudy and cool day around the bay. Let's check back in with meteorologist Jessica Birch. We're talking microclimates.
We are talking microclimates because our friends along the coast are still holding on tight to 60s, while some of our microclimates in the inland areas are dealing with below normal temperatures, but now we're back up into the 70s and 80s this afternoon. Here's what's happening for us all throughout the Bay Area as we head into this afternoon. That onshore breeze, that fresh Pacific air will continue to sweep in at the surface level up to around 20 to 25 miles per hour. And we were talking about this earlier. I want to dive more into it. The Climate Prediction Center still has the Bay Area highlighted with below normal conditions as we head into the rest of this month and early next month into August. So the reason why I want to start with that is because you take a look at the map below me. Throughout the next couple days, these temperatures you see around me for our daytime highs this afternoon, they're going to look very similar. We'll see this slow, gradual warming trend into next week. You'll notice it the most on Monday of next week, where daytime highs off into the East Bay areas will eventually hit the 80s. But for now, we're still holding on tight to 70s anywhere from San Jose off into the Tri-Valley area. Antioch is the exception this afternoon. This is the warmest we've seen all week long, and it's way off into the east. Low 80s, when usually we're used to seeing, 90s, even triple digits over there around this time of year. So yes, this is below average for this time of year. We have 70s up in the North Bay today, 60s along the coast, all the way over into San Francisco too. So let's start off with the Bay forecast, because that gradual warming trend is very, very gradual and very subtle, I should say, actually, as we head into early next week. By Monday, we're back into the 70s, and then we average back out into the upper 60s, which is honestly what we've been dealing with all week long anyways. It's our inland spots that are going to notice this warm up the most. We're in the mid-70s today throughout most our inland areas, from wine country down into the Santa Clara Valley. Partly cloudy skies today, tomorrow, heading into Saturday. Once high pressure ridges its way into early next week, that warms us up, it dries us up, it drops relative humidity. We'll see sunnier skies by Monday and Tuesday with mid-80s. So a 10-degree jump from now until Sunday, right around the corner. More on that in a bit. For now, back to you.
Thanks, Jess. It is the middle of summer vacation. So why are some parents already finished with back-to-school shopping? Well, Meta introducing new safety measures to protect kids and teens on social media. Younger users can now get information about accounts that message them, and there's also an option to block and report accounts with one tap. Meta says the features were implemented in June, and teens have already used them to block and report millions of accounts. A lot of kids are out enjoying summer, but some savvy parents already have those school supplies ready to go.
And I'm done.
You're done.
Except for shoes. I'll let the kids pick out their pair of shoes and then we're good to go.
62% of shoppers say they are going to begin back-to-school shopping before August. That's up 8 percentage points from last year, according to a report by CoreSite Research. They say shoppers are looking for deals and value for their money while preempting tariff-driven price increases down the line.
Tariffs have gone up. Even if deals are struck, the baseline of tariffs has gone up. More tariffs are due to come in on August 1st, and the flow through to prices is really only going to be upward from tariffs.
Some strategies to save money. You can shop secondhand for durable things like backpacks. You can also use store apps, loyalty programs, and cashback offers. Stack it up. We'll be right back. Well, July is Disability Pride Month. This Saturday also marks the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And in Berkeley, people coming together to literally weave the stories of their community together at the Center for Independent Living. They've completed more than 20 panels for this quilt project that has made its way across the country.
There's a really powerful way that quilt making and fabric and art is woven into culture making and into resiliency in a really deep way.
We'll have more on the project coming up at 5. Remember, we are streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app.